Today, we're tackling something really significant.
We are. It's about how environmental destruction isn't just random.
Exactly. We're looking at the deep ties between systemic racism, white privilege, and, well, the environmental crises we face globally.
And when we say systemic racism, we mean those built-in practices, right? The ones that keep racial inequality going.
And white privilege, those sort of unearned societal advantages just from being white.
Yeah.
So our goal here, using quite a range of sources, is to show how these systems really shaped policy, land use, industry, basically setting the stage for ecological problems.
It's not just about who gets hurt, though that's critical. It's about uncovering the actual drivers that made environmental damage seem acceptable, even normal in certain places.
Okay, so let's dive in. One concept that comes up again and again in the research is sacrifice zones.
Right. Environmental racism in, well, its clearest form.
You mean polluting industries, refineries, chemical plants, toxic dumps being deliberately placed near black communities?
Overwhelmingly so. And the deliberateness is key. Look at Cancer Alley in Louisiana. It's quite shocking, really.
Tell us about that.
It's an 85-mile area, more than 150 petrochemical plants. And the people living there, mostly black descendants of enslaved people.
And the health impacts.
Tragically high rates of cancer, respiratory problems, people dying prematurely. The sources are pretty clear. Industries went there intentionally.
Why there specifically?
Well, the land was cheap, the communities had less political clout, and crucially, white communities nearby successfully fought to keep these plants out of their own backyards.
So it was that combination, land value, low political power, but also active resistance from more privileged groups.
Exactly. A mix of economic factors, historical devaluation of land, but political power, or the lack thereof, was a huge piece of it. White communities could lobby, use resources.
While black communities were often systematically disenfranchised, their voices weren't heard.
Precisely, making their land an easier target.
And, like you said, this isn't just happening now. The sources trace this right back through history. Colonial land grabs from indigenous peoples, for instance.
Yeah, that completely upended sustainable ways of living with the land, replaced it with extraction for profit. Think clear-cutting, massive single-crop farms.
And then the role of enslaved Africans.
Absolutely central. Forced labor built economies on things like cotton, tobacco, sugar, mining, all incredibly resource-hungry.
Causing huge deforestation, soil exhaustion, problems we still deal with.
We do. And the research suggests white privilege acted as a shield, insulating the dominant society from the immediate ecological fallout while others bore the brunt. It's a direct line.
So how did this carry forward into policy? How did political structures keep this inequality going environmentally?
Well, the sources highlight a consistent pattern. Black voices being marginalized in environmental decision-making.
Meaning laws often prioritized industry over protection?
Yes, or enforcement was just weaker in black neighborhoods. Environmental harms were ignored or downplayed.
Is there a concrete example of that legacy today?
A really stark one is urban heat islands. Think about racist redlining policies that segregated black families into areas with less investment.
Fewer parks, less green space.
Exactly. More concrete, more asphalt. Today, those same neighborhoods can be like 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than wealthier, whiter areas nearby.
Wow. Leading to more heat illness, higher cooling costs.
It's a direct, measurable result of racist policies shaping the physical environment.
And this isn't just a local or national thing, is it?
Yeah.
The sources point to this privilege playing out on a global scale.
Oh, absolutely. The wealth generated through colonialism and slavery allowed white majority nations to industrialize fast, but it also enabled them to export the pollution.
Outsourcing it to poorer, non-white nations in the global south.
Precisely. A really jarring example is e-waste. Old electronics computers, phones from the US and Europe get shipped to places like Ghana or India.
Under the label of recycling, I assume.
Often, yeah. But what happens is workers, sometimes children, burn the waste to get valuable metals out. They're breathing toxic fumes, the land and water get poisoned.
So wealthy nations consume, generate waste, and then basically dump the hazardous part elsewhere.
It's a stark manifestation of global white privilege, displacing the environmental and human cost.
Okay, so we pull all this together. What's a core link the research is showing us?
It seems unavoidable, really. The systems that devalue non-white people racism inherently also devalue the lands they live on. They become seen as disposable.
So racism provides a sort of justification for extraction, Pollution.
It seems to function that way, yes.
Yeah.
It justifies marking these communities and their environments as places where harm is acceptable. And white privilege shields the dominant group from those harms while they continue to benefit from cheap resources and often cleaner environments. It's a damaging cycle.
So, wrapping this up, it's clear from the research that systemic racism and white privilege aren't just side issues in the environmental discussion. They're actually foundational drivers.
They fundamentally shape who gets poisoned, who gets protected, and why ecological destruction became normalized in the first place.
Which means real environmental justice.
Has to be anti-racist action. It means challenging privilege and policy, listening to and reviving suppressed knowledge, especially indigenous ecological knowledge, and demanding accountability globally, empowering communities.
So the question for you, our listener, is, how does seeing environmental challenges through this lens change your perspective on what real solutions might look like?